So the Rootworks Collective is a community of folks who are vision workers. They're people who are moving from soul, with soul, towards soul, and really living powerfully into the deepest questions of aliveness, of humanity, of being alive here on this earth at this time. There are plenty of coaching, discipline, accountability things for all manners of things. And I created this because I wasn't finding an accountability devotional structure for vision, for really rooting vision into this place, into this time, into this body, into this ecosystem. So there are two things I want to tell you about right now. There's the lead up, which is a preparation period. It's a time of really deep inquiry into what is vision? And do I really have a vision? As distinct from a business plan or an idea, or a concept, some inherited notion of what you should do. But really, what is vision from the place of soul and relationship and the biggest questions of life and death and what to do in this moment of aliveness that you have, and the relations, the constellation of kin that you're in. So there's the prep work, and then there's the root camp itself, which is a 6-week container. And in order to be a part of that 6-week container, which starts on a new moon and goes through 2 fillings of the moon, it is necessary to have gone through the preparation work. The preparation work looks like, as I mentioned, getting clear on what your vision is, if it's really ready to ground now, if you're ready for it, if you know what it really takes, and if you have what it takes right now to do it, or if there's a few more things you've got to get into place, just that very frank accounting of where you stand in relationship to that right now. For those who have a clear vision, who are ready, whose vision is really of the earth's dreaming, then the next steps are really critical for maintaining devotion over the course of the 6-week container, and kind of broadly in any other area of your life. And it's really about a distillation of your devotions and a tuning of the instrument of your body and your voice and your space and place and the land and relations where you are, so that you can really walk a threshold. So you can actually really transform by letting your vision work on you, and you in turn working on your vision. So the way we do that is, in this lead up time, we move out of the conceptual and the ideas, and which have their place, and move into the mantra, the clarity, the vocal, verbal expression of what you're really devoted to, and really finding clarity there so that you have that written out and you can return to it. In fact, in the container, you will return to it every day. And you affirm to yourself over and over again what it is you're really devoted to. So people talk about affirmations. It's kind of like affirmations, but it's not. Well, I guess it is like affirmations, but what I would argue is that devotion is a bit more relational. So each day you devote verbally, vocally, and through the body. So Kriya, mantra and Kriya. Kriya is soul action. And so it's really getting into the cells of your body and your being, into your physical experience and sensation, that which you're really ringing through, what you're really devoted to, what on your deathbed, when you're looking back on your life, you will know why you did it. You will know what your body has been up to. You can look back and say, I fired every arrow that was mine to shoot. And I stood for what was really precious to me. And I focused myself, I devoted myself to my aliveness when it was mine, and to my kin when I was around and in a place of power and ability to really be there for them, to really be in my full, mature, leaderful role. So mantra, kriya. And then we also work with altars. So an altar is a place where we almost make a little laboratory of our sacred relationships. And in this context, I walk you right through it the whole way, and you'll have support from the collective as well, to really be in relationship to where you are and to what you are, elementally. Earth, air, fire, water. So that you can really learn from the elemental teachers, so that you can really learn from the particular life forms that are surrounding you, where you are, that are actually lifting you up and holding you, that are actually feeding you and nourishing you, and whose work, so they're nourishing you, and your work nourishes them. You know, there's nothing that the earth loves more than folks dancing on it in earnest, being in sincere and right alignment in their participation with life here. So, so the altar, you make an altar, and I will walk you through that. I love altar making, and it's an altar to your vision, which means to your own soul, which means to your relations. It means to the biggest questions. And there's an incredible amount of insight and beauty and medicine that comes from that work. If you don't know, you will know. And if you do know, then you know. So the altar is very often for, other than human relations or ancestral relations. And there is also really real work to do when grounding vision in your human relations. So what that means is, for those of us who are not in a culture that knows how to carry people into adulthood, to really have them make rites of passage, we don't really have a lot of know-how about it. So there's a manual aspect of this here, where you see that? No. Each of the things that we're talking about vision, about altars, about kriya, mantra, embodiment, soul, these are huge words. Really, they're small words for huge things. And there's a lot of space for discourse. There's a lot of space for conversation around what those mean, particularly in one-on-one work with me or with other folks in the collective, to really dive more deeply into that. And for the purposes of this video, let it mean what it means to you, and let it also be flexible. Let yourself be open to the possibility that there's more to those ideas or those things than we typically relate to. And that there's a very practical experience of of vision. There's a very practical experience of ensouling. There's a very practical way of relating to the sacred.